Hey guys, welcome to day 2 of our summer squats to trots. So yesterday, day 1, we worked on foam rolling, working out the fascia that surrounds the muscle. We did a little stretching to actually stretch the muscles. So today we're going to work on mobility, which is moving the muscles and joints through the range of motion, and some strength to actually learn some control of those muscles. So remember, we talked about horse riding is all about the control. So it's not actually building stronger, bigger, bulkier muscles. It's about controlling the very small movements and where your muscles are and how they get into position. So we're going to start on the ground and we're going to go into hip swivels. So today's all about the lower half, which again is kind of the anchor of your riding. So you're going to sit and you're going to rest your body on the back of your on your hands, and you're going to just swivel your hips back and forth. So what we're looking for here is the range of motion, but I don't want your butt cheek to come all the way up to get your knees on the ground. So right now you're just seeing how far they can go. So you're going to swivel. Now you're going to set yourself up. Sit up a little more, and you're going to reach out and back and across. So we're just going through this little mermaid routine right here. Switch it back. Getting the range of motion, mobility. So hips are one of the biggest keys in riding. Hips are what anchor you. They absorb a lot of shock, but they also get you into position. So if your hips are off, it's going to throw a lot of other things off. All right, now let's go back up, and we're going to go side to side right here. So now we're going to see if that kind of helped loosen up our hip a little more, see if we got any bigger range of motion. One more on the other side, and we're going to stay here. Come back up. And again, you're going to reach out. So my foot is off the ground in the back, reaching back. I bring it back in, and I float back. So reach out, come back. But find your starting point. If you just need to keep your legs in a 90-90, go for it. Find where you need to start, and don't push yourself so far out of the comfort zone that you stop. So we want to make ourselves grow a little bit at a time, but it's just like training horses. If you push too much too quick, they're going to fall apart, and they're going to not learn, and they're not going to be able to do it because you just move too quickly. So you just have to backtrack a little bit more. One more here, rock back, and one more time, hip swivels. Resting your weight on your hands, swiveling back and forth. I kind of walk my feet just a little bit at a time. Hello, hi. I'll sit this right here. Thank you. All right. Now we're going to go on your knees. I'm going to go, toes are anchored in the back, 1 foot out. So we did this yesterday in your stretching, but now we're going to rock back and stretch, and then we're going to walk your hands forward and press your hip down into the floor. And then we're going to walk back and press down here. Walk forward, press your hip down. So now we're getting adductor here, which is right here, which again is a big part of riding. And we're getting hip flexor here. Making sure, especially as you come in this position, you don't arch your back. Keep your pelvis rolled nice and strong and get that press. Let's do one more here. Rock back and press forward. Now let's switch sides. Toes are anchored down in the back, other foot out, foot is flat. Rock it back, press it forward. Also, as you rock back, I want you nice and square in your hips, and as you press forward, nice and square. So I don't want you pushing that hip to the ground. I want you nice and straight. Rock it back. Keep breathing. Remember, we talked about that yesterday. Breathing is going to be key. Another thing I want you to think about as you're here, don't let your shoulders go up into your ear. Keep it pressed away, just like you would want when you're riding. You don't want those shoulders to scrunch up. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and stand up. And now we're going to work on your hip hurdles. So you're going to soft knee, spread your toes out, raise your arches, and you're going to work on your range of motions. Tap it back, roll it forward. As you're here, I don't want you leaning into it. I want you nice and straight so you can move those hips around and get that movement. You can stretch your toe back in the back and come forward. We don't want a big hip dip here. We want them nice and straight as you move. You might just be right here and not raising it up as much. Find your starting point. You might just be tapping. You can also do a sweep. Find where you need to be. Grow a little more as you go through it. And then you're going to switch legs. Shake it out. Anchor yourself down. So again, you don't want to dip. You want to be nice and square because again, as we're in the saddle, we always want to be square. Sometimes your foot has to come back in order to ask the horse to do something, but you don't want to lose that and have to dip your hip in order to reach your foot back. You want to be nice and strong. So again, find your starting point. Maybe you just sweep it back and forth. This is also a lot of core control since we're doing balance and we're not letting our upper body twist with it. Our upper body has to be nice and square as our lower half is moving around. Good. Keep it nice and square. Fix your foot if you need to. Don't be afraid to stop and adjust. Pay attention to what your body's doing and don't just go through the motions without thinking. This is all about thinking. We want to know what our toes are doing, what our hips doing. Stop and listen to your body. Let's do one more. All right, back up. Shake it out. All right, hopefully we're a little loose. So now we're going to go on to the strength portion. How it's going to work is you're going to have two exercises. I'm going to show you the two exercises. You're going to do them individually, and then we're going to do a combo with them. You can use, and I'll show you how to use everything. You can use a band if you have that lying around. You can use a core ball for this first round if you want, or you can use dumbbells if you want, light dumbbells, or you can go free range, nothing. We're going to be going really slow because this is all about control again. So nothing is just as good. I'm going to show you the exercises and then I'll show you the other equipment. So your first two exercises is going to be slightly simple. You're going down into your squat. But I want you paying attention to your squat. I don't want those knees falling in. I don't want you falling forward into your toes. I want you thinking feet hip width apart. Slow down, slow up. This is all going to be about slow because that's how you gain the control for shock absorption in your muscles. What happens normally in the eccentric, the lowering phase, the easier phase, is you kind of forget about it. That's when things kind of fall apart. Same in the saddle. Think about when you're posting. That's when you just kind of slam onto the horse's back. You let gravity do everything as opposed to controlling the down and pushing up. Controlling the down and pushing up in your post. All right. Second movement is deadlift. So that was your quad dominant. Second one is your deadlift. So look at the difference. Squat, I'm just lowering down. Deadlift, somebody karate chops you in the waist and your hips go back. What's not happening is this. I'm not just leaning my upper body forward and putting the weight into my toes. Soften your knees, karate chop at the hip, actually push your hips back if you need to. That's the movement. Then you can kind of stretch down a little bit, but you really shouldn't be able to reach past your knees too far. If you can, that's all in your back. So if you're controlling it, core tight, shoulders back, in your hips, that's where you want to be. You want to be nice and anchored onto your heels. So if you're doing dumbbells, simple, you're just holding them. The ball on this one is going to be very, very good because it's not going to let you cave your knees in. It's actually going to be like you're riding a horse. You're squatting down, coming up, And you're not going to be able to cave those knees as well. And then same here. You're not going to be able to cave them in. So the ball is very good for that one. If you have bands lying around, you're going to stand on them, and you're going to do more of a good morning for the second exercise. So weights, it's going to be up here. You're going to squat down, come up, and then for the good morning, you're just going to keep them up so the weight stays up as your hips go back. So I want you to take a choice of what you want to use. I'll use the dumbbells for this round so you can see them. And here we go. We're going to squat down. We're going to go nice and slow. Slow up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Squat again. We're staying on the squat. Then we'll move on to the deadlift. And then we're going to combo them. Nice and slow. We might have some tempo changes. Go with range of motion here. So if you need to separate your feet out, I want your weight onto the back of your heels. I don't want you sticking your butt out, so roll your hips under so you're nice and straight. Keep your shoulders out of your ears and keep breathing nice and slow. We're going to speed it up. Down, 2, up, 2, down, 2, but I want you nice and controlled. Down, 2. It's all about form. You can do as many squats as you want, but it's not going to matter if you're doing it with bad form. That's why I'm so adamant about just slowing down, figuring it out, figure out what your body's doing. If you can feel what your body's doing, you can fix it. It's the feeling part. Same with riding. Good. Up, 2. Now we're going to go a little faster. Slow, power up. 1, 2, power up. 1, 2, power up. So don't let your body fall apart as you start powering up. Good. All right. One more. 1, 2, power up. All right, shake it out. Now you're going to go into the deadlift. Feet are the same, hip width apart. Separate your toes, raise your arches. I like to do this stuff when we're going nice and slow without our shoes so you can actually see and pay attention to what's going on. We're going to get our hips back. Slow down. 2, 3, 4. Slow up. This is when you need the shoulder and back control as well, because I don't want this happening. I don't want it going into your back here. I want you to hold, pinch a pencil between your shoulder blades. Tighten your core like somebody's about to come and sucker punch you. So you tighten it in as opposed to pushing it out. Nice and controlled. Keep the shoulders back. Keep your breathing going. Slow. 2, 3, 4. Up. 2. Now we're going to speed it up. Down. 2. Up. 2. As you come up, I want you squeezing your butt cheeks. But remember, it's how you get down that's the important part. I don't want you reaching forward and putting all the weight on your toes. Somebody karate chops you in the waist. You're shutting the door on the car. Whatever it takes for you to stick the butt out. Down, 2, up, 2. Now we're going to go down slow. Power up. Down slow. Power up. Good. Squeeze the butt at the top. As you come up, no hyperextending. Stop the motion. Control the motion. So you're still powering, but you're stopping it right there. Squeeze your butt. Good. Last one. Good. Now we're just going to combine it. Ready? Down, 2, up, into that deadlift. Up. Nice and slow to start. So remember, it's the easier phase when you're going down with the motion that you want to be able to control it the most. That's the reverse of a lot of other sports. We need to control that downward motion as equestrians. Down. All right, we're going to add that little power move we did at the end. So we're going to go down nice and slow. Power up. down nice and slow. Power up. Squeeze the butt at the top. Down, squat. Power up. Down, deadlift. Power up. Good. Almost done. Just a couple more. Power up. And done. Shake it out. Drop your weights if you want. We're going to go into just pull squats. Pull squats are key to figuring out because that is that's your post. You're playing hot potato with the saddle. You're barely touching, barely coming up. So you're just hovering there right in the middle. So it's not a big range of motion. What a lot of people do is they fall back into the saddle and they push up there. That's why you get off rhythm. That's why you get tossed around, because you're actually putting all the weight in the saddle and then you try to push up and claw up with your feet. Think about a chair right behind you. You think about sitting into it and then you're like, oh crap, I forgot something. And you got to come back up. Oh, I'm going to sit down now. Oh, no. Okay, we're good. That's the motion we're going for. All right. So we're going to go right here and you're going to reach back and up. So we're just going to hold it here now. Nice in rhythm. Pull your abs in. I don't care if you think you have them or not. I promise they're in there. Tighten them up like somebody's about to come and sucker punch you or tickle you. And you're just going down and up, trying to find that rhythm. You're not going all the way down and you're not coming all the way up. Keep your hips under. Do a hip check all the time. Shoulders are back. Chin is staying lifted. Now breathe. Breathe. Weight is going through your heels. Your toes are nice and spread. 3, 2, 1. Come up out of it. All right, shake it out. Grab some water. We're going to do one, we have 2 more exercises. So our next ones are lunges and single leg deadlifts. So this one is feet are hip width apart. So try not to put yourself on a tightrope right here. And you're going to lower straight down, straight up. That's your first exercise. I don't want this going back and forth. I want up and down. Again, we're going to have those tempos. The next one is where you will hinge forward. You can rest your toe in the back, hinge at the hips. So you're going to feel that in the butt. All right, that'll be your second one. Hinging there. We're going to stay on one side and then we'll switch. If you have your bands, you're going to do the same thing and you're going to cross them, step in the middle, bring them up. The bands will kind of help you in this one. So here for your lunge, here's where they'll kind of help you because you can lower them down and you can almost use them for stability if you want to start playing with that toe coming off the ground. All right, so those are your options. Other option is to go weight free. So I'm going to go weight free with you here. And we're going to put foot down in the back and we're going to start. Nice and slow to start. Counting down 4, counting up 4. Pay attention to where your legs are going. So you're reaching down with this knee is what you're doing. I don't want the forward rock. Come down. So you might not go down very far, but that's okay. We're just working on finding where your body is moving, paying attention to what your body's doing. Don't be afraid to do this in front of a mirror, or even if you have glass on a wall or door or window or TV, whatever. It'll help you just get a look at yourself to see where you're going. Slow. 2, 3, 4. Up. 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to go down in 2s. Down, 2, up, 2. And I want you to keep your hips tucked under. Don't let that booty pop out. Keep it under. If you need to keep a hand on your back, that's what you do. Give yourself little reminders. Now we're going to go slow, 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 slow. Power up. Slow. Power up. Get the rhythm. Power up. Keep the breathing. Power up. One more. All right. Now we're going to let ourselves come forward. Anchor yourself in the back, so give a little kickstand in the back if you want. Same movement as last time, but now we're just focusing on one foot. So we get the balance, we get the rotation, the anti-rotation. So you got to get yourself nice and straight as you come down and come up. If you are ready for it, you can float that foot off the back and come down. So your foot's not raising and then you're going down. You're going down at the same time your foot's coming up. You need to anchor down, tighten that core, come back up. You can try to reach with your hands a little bit, see where they go. Feel it in your butt cheek. Again, just like when we were doing those hip swivels, don't let that hip cock out. Push it back in. Slow, slow, slow. Up, up, up. Now we go twos. 2, 2, 2. Keep your breathing and keep moving. All right. Final change. Slow down here. Slow, slow, slow. Power up. Slow. Breathe. Slow. I have my foot anchored down in the back. You can be raising it and up. All right, shake it out. We're going into that combo now. So lunge into that the single leg deadlift. Here we go. Slow. Up. Lean forward. Slow. Up. Good. Slow down. Slow up. Rock forward. Slow down. Slow up. Now we're going to go to speed it up just a little bit. 1, 2, 1, 2. Lean forward. 1, 2, 1, 2. Going back into lunge. As you go into that deadlift, you're pushing your weight forward through your heel. Then you go down. All right. We're going slow it down here a little more. Power up. Rock forward. Slow it down here. Power up. Step it back. One more here. Rock forward. Power up. All right, shake it out. We're going to do the other side. Now you know what to expect. Same thing. Now you're going to see which side your stronger side. So it's good to take yourself off balance because you can see it just like we do in our stretching. All right, here we go. Slow first. Reaching that knee back. Find where your body's going. Just staying in the lunge right now. Keeping your hips rolled under. Go through all your checkpoints. Make sure your shoulders are back. Your core is tight. You don't want it so tight that you can't breathe and that you can't talk. You just want it tight where it's supporting everything, supporting your spine, just like you're going to do in the saddle. Now we're going to go 2 down, 2 up. Good. Still that control. What we don't want to happen is this, that knee to roll in. Keep it nice and straight. So even if you need to keep that hand on your knee to make sure that happens. Now we're going to change our rhythm again. Slow it down. Slow here. Power up here. Slow down here. Going straight up and down and power. Good. One more. And power. All right, shake it out. We're going into those single leg deadlifts here. So we're going to rock ourselves forward. And now we're hinging at the hips again. So we're hinging at the hips. Either kickstand or float that foot. And you're going to reach it down nice and slow. Power up. So we're going nice and slow down, nice and slow up. Pay attention to your hips. Let yourself fall. This is the time to fall and play and find your limits versus when you're on your horse. So push your limits here. Don't be afraid to topple over. Nice and slow. Tighten that core. Now we're going to change the rhythm. 2 down, 2 up. Play with that balance. Whoop. Play with the balance. Your floor might be uneven. Your ankles might be really wobbly. That's totally fine. I have really weak ankles. This is how I practice with them. Now we're gonna go extra slow down, power up. Extra slow down, power up. If you have the balance to float your knee through, you can. There's always room to progress, and there's always ability to bring it back to basics. If you find yourself really falling over and you need to take it back a notch, take it back. Power up now. Nice and slow down. Power up. Squeeze that butt at the top. Nice and slow down. Power up. All right. Shake it out before we go into our combo. We're going to lunge it down, rock our weight forward, and go into that single lunge. Nice and slow here. Nice and slow here. Rock our weight forward. Nice and slow down. Nice and slow up. Cat, I'm trying not to step on. Slow down. Slow up. Rock forward. Slow down. Slow up. Now we're going to speed it up. Step on cattail. Speed it up just a little. Down, 2, up, 2. Push forward. Down, 2, up, 2. Go back. One more here. And then we're going into our power. Down, up. Rock it back. Ready? Slow it down. Slow down. Power up. Rock forward. Slow it here. Tighten that core. Power up. Slow up. Rock forward. Last one here. Slow and up. Shake it out. Butt on fire. All right, we're just going to take a minute and stretch it back out. I want you to cross one foot over the other. Reach down. If you can reach and stretch and get a little spinal twist into it. Good. Stand up, shake it out, switch legs. Other leg over. You can get a little spine twist. Remember, everything's connected. Back up. All right, let's go out again, toes out. Stretch it down. Twist that shoulder into it. So you're getting a little lat stretch, but you're getting that adductor as well too. And switch. One more time, switch. Last side, switch. All right, we're going down to the ground. Move your helper if you need to. All right, foot is across. We're gonna stretch right back here. Right, lean into it, take some deep breaths. Remember, breathing helps loosen the muscles. That's what happens when we ride a lot. We hold our breath because we're concentrating really hard, or maybe we're nervous. Whatever the case is, that tightens up the muscles. So now's the time to really practice slowing the breathing down as you're working. As you're concentrating on other things, still remembering to breathe. All right, let's get one foot forward. Stretch it forward. Switch it. All right, 2 feet together. And just relax some here. Even if your knees are all the way up here, just take your deep breaths. See where they float to. This is all about just stretching it back out. All right, now you can either do a standing quad stretch. You can lie on your side, or you can put one foot out, the other foot back, and lean back into it. So we always want to stretch those quads back out. You can do a little rock back and switch. So you can be standing, lying on your side here, or putting it on the ground here and rocking back. Find your level, find what feels good for that day. Give a little stretch. Every day, just play with stretches that stretch the same muscle, because different positions might feel better that day, might get where you need to go. All right, now just quickly, just rub your feet, your arches especially. They worked in the balance. That happens. You want your arches to be nice and supported and strong when you're in the saddle, because your stirrups act as the ground. So a lot of times people like to curl their toes and hold onto the stirrups here. We want you to be able to get your heels down, so your arches need to be nice and loose, but they need to be strong to support it as well. So you can always take a ball and roll those out. Feels really good. Tomorrow, we're going to come back and I will see you then, and we'll be working hard, and I'll give you more info about it tomorrow.